Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, consumer gasoline demand is at its highest level on record for March. A Tullahoma student has won a championship in archery, and Tom Corrington will talk with the state representative Judd Matheny about school safety. And Dwight Cox will tell us about a fundraiser for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Kay and Greg Gillum have added another touch of excellence to their furniture business. Now a newly stocked 20,000 square foot Badcock Home Furniture and More location in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Locally owned and operated and offering the same friendly professional service with the best prices on name brand products like their sister store in Winchester, Tennessee has for years. Visit the new Tullahoma location and shop name brand bedroom suites, electronic department with computers, tablets, 4K televisions, and accessories. A large complete appliance center to fit the style of any household. Beautiful selection of rugs that complement any person's taste. A variety of living room combinations all in one large showroom. That's right, Badcock Home Furniture and More has added a new location. 373 West Lincoln Street, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Offering special prices year-round. Financing is always available. Speedy delivery to your home or office. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, noon to 5 p.m. Call 931-222-4353.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester. Check out this 2018 Ford Focus, $299 a month. Or check out the 2018 Ford F-150 up to $9,000 off. Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. Consumer gasoline demand is at the highest level on record for March. According to the Energy Information Administration's latest report, demand measured at 9.6 million barrels per day. Those levels are typical of summer months, not the first quarter of the year. U.S. exports continue to trend high, accounting for a large chunk of this week's demand data. AAA spokesperson Janet Casalana said, quote, as demand strengthens, gasoline inventories decline, pushing the national gas price average 2 cents more expensive on the week to $2.55. As a result, the majority of motorists are seeing more expensive gas prices at the start of this work week, end quote. Today's national gas price average is $2.55. That's 2 cents more than a month ago and 26 cents higher than this time last year.
In Tennessee, the average price of a gallon of gas is $2.35. Last year on this date, the average price was $2.04 per gallon. The highest price of ever recorded in the state was September 15th of 2008 when the gas was $4.12 per gallon. In Coffee and Bedford County, the average price today is $2.31 per gallon, 4 cents cheaper than the state average.
Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration Commissioner Larry Martin announced earlier this week that Tennessee tax revenues fell short of budgeted estimates in February. Overall, February revenues were $884.9 million, which is $38.2 million more than we received in February a year ago, but were $3.4 million less than the state had budgeted. The overall growth rate for February was 4.5%. Commissioner Martin said, quote, the state experienced growth in sales tax revenue compared to last February, and receipts exceeded the budgeted estimates. However, franchise and excise revenues recorded negative growth for the month and were less than the estimate. All other revenues combined revealed healthy growth for the month, but were slightly less than the budgeted estimate.
Archery has been a part of the Tullahoma school curriculum for a few short years, but the program has produced yet another champion. Jerry Harris brings us a story.
I'm Jerry Harris, and I'm here at Taylor's Archery Shop in Tullahoma, Tennessee with Josh Harris and Ashley Scott. And Josh, I believe this young lady just did something great.
She did. She first won state this year, shot a 113 at state. And then we went to the Nationals in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she shot a 121 and won the Nationals in Cincinnati with a 121, and then the second place finisher shot a 111. So I was really proud of her. She's been shooting great ever since she came. She originally started NASP at East Lincoln with Jeff Hale. Did a good job with them. And I was just lucky enough she started shooting with us and
Inherited her.
Basically.
Well, Ashley, how do you what made you want to get into archery?
My sister, was shooting archery before I was, and then she taught me how to do it, and then I've loved it ever since.
You didn't let Josh or anybody else miss your shot up though, right?
No.
Well, where do you go from here?
I plan on going to a different bow, and the one that has sights and stuff, and then compete more.
And what grade are you in now?
6th.
6th. So you're going to keep going and hope you get a college scholarship. Right. And you're 12 years old?
11.
11. That's even better. You've got that much more time to spend.
She's got 2 more years if she decides to do traditional class. She's still got 2 more years in the traditional class, unless she wants to go to a fixed pin compound bow, which will be a different class, but she's going to develop into that. So,
Where do you go to school at now?
East Middle.
Okay, you're at East Middle. All right. And what grade are you in?
6th.
6th. 6th graders, national champion, state champion. What else can we go for?
she also won state in NASP
2 times.
2 times.
Well, you're a whiz kid, ain't you?
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the other end of the bow if she's after me.
Right, I would.
Say she get her target. Do you ever hunt?
No.
You just do this. That's good. That's
We're
good.
getting ready. We just finished up our indoor season, so now we're starting 3D season.
All right.
So she got a chance to win state and nationals in that too.
And you shoot in that too? All right. Everybody, this young lady right here is going to put Tullahoma on the map with a bow and arrow.
I hope so.
Stay with us. More Newsleader is coming up after these messages.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with State Representative Judd Matheny. In this segment, they discuss possible solutions to school shooting issues.
We've had a situation, as I say, the whole community needs to be more aware. We've had, I think, in almost every shooting, there have been some clues out there that should have been picked up.
Yep.
A couple of them even reports to the FBI, which were ignored. And that's, you know, the best way for school safety is to prevent a shooting.
There's so many, and I'll defend the FBI here, even though, we wish they'd have caught that, but they don't have the manpower either. They're dealing with so many issues and mandated with so many investigations and having to deal with so many leads, and boy, it's hard to keep up. And so we have to look at this whole problem and how we're going to deal with it. And we also have to understand, and this is the thing that's kind of hard for everybody to sink in, but guns are here to stay. We can't wish they were gone. We're not going to be able to legislate them out of the way. They're here to stay. So gun safety has to be a key issue. The chance of a kid, I think, coming across a loaded firearm by the time they graduate high school, or even if they're 15 years old, is 100%. We teach our kids to drive, we teach them about sex, we teach them about drugs, we teach them about all these things in school, but we won't teach them how to properly handle a firearm or identify one and treat it safely. We just won't do that. But there's a 100% chance they're going to run across a gun. So this is another argument that we're having too, because if there's going to be weapons in the schools, they don't need to be such an oddity to a child. And you know, this is just long-term thoughts that we're having in the legislature.
Yeah, we do have a new phenomena in the school safety issue, and that's the uprising of the kids. And it'll be interesting to see whether they are able to sustain that or not. But that's quite a phenomenon. They're putting a lot of pressure on the legislature. So
this one's a lot different than the ones in the past. All the ones in the past rocked us hard, but this one's really moving the needle, and it's moving it in all spectrums. It really is. It's moving. Everybody's saying, you know, it is time to get deeper in this issue.
Yeah. Anything out there at the moment that you would specifically like to see happening?
Well, actually, I want to see the budget passed as closely and intactly as possible, and I think it will, because it preserves a lot of the programs that we've been glad to have here in the community. And years in the past, a lot of them have always been on the chopping block, whether it be our coordinated school health or grants to mental health facilities and things of that nature. They're all intact, and this seems to be a budget that's not going to have an extraordinary amount of growth in it like we had last year, which I'm glad we're having a bit more measured growth. But you have to remember, we cut franchise and excise taxes last year by about $300 million. Therefore, our budget's obviously not going to be as big this year, but our surplus is still in the high hundreds of millions, and we're going to be able to fully fund our rainy day fund, and don't see any new taxes on the horizon or the specter of that. And it really has been, like I say, sort of a benign year.
Yeah,
we're taking care of the state's business. We have things to do, a lot of technical cleanups on legislation, and of course the budget hearings have to be very exhaustive. But overall, everybody's just kind of pulling towards April 15th and go back home.
Yeah. Well, anything in particular you're expecting to happen between now and April 15th?
Other than the passage of the budget, I mean, there's a few local things I'm making sure don't happen. You know, for utilities and banks and things, we want to make sure that some legislation doesn't pass, which I don't think it will. So I'm really guarding against a few things, other than there's just not a lot of major initiatives out there that are going to be earth-changing. You know, if it's yours, I'm sure, if it's your group, it's very important. But from a macro perspective, like I said, it's a pretty slow year. Just want to make sure some negative things don't happen, and that we pass a good, solid budget. And you know, I'm going to leave this job, and whoever takes my place will make sure that they have full access to everything that I had and know.
Okay. Well, let's back to the school safety thing for a moment. Is there anything you're expecting to happen in the rest of the session?
I think we will pass the law that allows school systems to arm their teachers if they choose to do so. It won't be a mandate. It won't be there'll be no punitive damages against anybody that doesn't want to do it or is involved in the system and is upset about it. But I think we're going to give that opportunity to the teachers before the year's out through their school administrators.
More Newsleader is coming up in a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. At a recent town hall meeting which hosted candidates for governor, Tullahoma City Schools Director Dr. Dan Lawson spoke about the school system's Chromebooks program.
As we think about this community, much of what we've accomplished is a function of highly effective leadership. Lane Turley has provided just wonderful leadership and truly demonstrates the fact that collaboration as a community makes a real difference. To that end, we've seen great collaboration within departments of this city and within collaborative agencies of this city. And I'll cite one quick example. While you talked about the importance of bandwidth for our state, our community embraced that idea several years ago and made sure that we have fiber to each of our schools. And that's probably been in place for the last 8 years. So opportunities that many are preparing for in concept, we're doing in fact. And we're doing in fact because of that collaboration that takes place. You talked about the opportunity of being able to leave with a secondary education opportunity or a post-secondary education opportunity. We regularly will have students graduate from Motlow with their associate's degree before our high school graduation here at Tullahoma High School. That takes collaboration and it takes cooperation. And we think those things have to continue. That voice has to continue to be heard. And we think there's not a set answer for our state, because like you, we understand that some of the blessings we enjoy certainly aren't quite so evident when you have counties nearby that don't have so much as a Walmart to provide any revenue source. Bottom line, what you should hear from me is a suggestion that in the last 16 years, we've seen some remarkable leadership at the state level. I'm not going to suggest I've agreed with all of it. I certainly haven't. But the last two governors have been truly exceptional leaders in terms of analyzing data, proposing an attack, and then coalescing the forces to make that attack happen. And we certainly, in the education community, appreciate that endeavor and are looking forward to more. Since 2012, we have equipped each of our students with a digital device. Right now, the nomenclature is a Chromebook. Certainly, that doesn't matter. But along with that digital device, we've equipped with open educational resources. So instead of buying textbooks, our folks produce standards-based content that we deliver to our kids. We are paying our teachers for that production. We are investing in our kids in terms of the devices that they take home. And we're providing increased bandwidth in the community, so we have something that looks much more like the real world. As we looked at what I think was the best example of that, 2012, the rover landed on Mars. Landed on Mars at about, 11:30 or so on a Sunday night. We met here on a Monday evening at 5:30, and the textbook that we had developed, we upgraded in less than 18 hours with videos that were embedded from NASA. So it's not that we upgraded with materials just out of thin air. We upgraded with relevant, authentic, cutting-edge content that represented not only what happened on Mars, but what happened right next door at AEDC where we tested the parachute. So as we think about opportunities, it's really easy for us to sit back and say, we're in Tennessee, we're in a flyover state, we'll do whatever New York says, whatever California, Texas says, and we can do much better, and we have done much better here. And we certainly look forward to support of watching that grow.
We'll be right back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. Dwight Cox with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes stopped by recently to tell us about the upcoming fundraiser for the organization.
I'm glad to have Dwight Cox up here with us right now, and it's always fun when he comes by because he's always talking about Christian athletes, and I believe in that very much, and I'm very proud to know that you're as involved in that and keep that program going, because it's very important that our young people have an opportunity to find the celestial help that they need.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
Oh man, we have our annual banquet coming up. It's the 3rd annual banquet for the Elk River region. Elk River covers 5 counties: Coffee, Franklin, Moore, Grundy, and Lincoln.
Yeah, that's about the same place we go with this television stuff.
So we're having this banquet in Winchester again, at the Winchester Church of Christ on the 9th, April the 9th, which is a Monday night. Our guest speaker is going to be Chris Sanders. He's a former Titan. He was on that Super Bowl team. So it should be interesting.
Yeah,
it should be good.
Yeah, I remember that name. Sure do.
He's a receiver, or was.
And what are you looking for right now? I mean, are you looking for sponsors for this?
Yes,
or
sir.
Tell us about your sponsorships.
Tickets, we have $20 tickets per person. And then if you want to be a table sponsor, there's 3 different levels. One is basically a half a table. This sponsors a kid to go to camp during the summer, FCA camp, and it's $300. And then it goes up from there. The next level would be the $700 sponsor, and then the $1,000 sponsor. So, and Citizens Tri-County Bank came through for us big time. They are the title sponsor, and we really appreciate them doing that, covering the event.
All right, so this is going to be a meal. What do y'all have to eat at these?
We typically have chicken breast with white sauce, and then roasted potatoes, green beans, plenty of pie, salad,
pie.
Rolls. So
rolls,
you will not leave.
Rolls.
You will not leave.
There's
empty.
always good rolls there.
Yep.
So
we'll start at 6 o'clock.
Okay, 6
and
o'clock.
we try to really keep it from 6 to 8.
Yeah.
We try to honor people's time.
Yeah, time is an
we
important
worked on
thing in
that
people's
over
lives.
the last couple of years, and we try to make it like clockwork so they can know when to come in. We start at 6.
Right.
The doors open at 5:30, and then at 8 o'clock we're trying to wrap it up.
Well, you know, this is you have one of these a year,
Yes,
like
sir.
a major fundraiser like this.
Yes, sir.
You know, let's let our audience know a little bit about exactly what y'all do throughout the year to help these young people involved in athletics know more about the Christian side of life. How does your program work?
Yeah, well, if you know anything about FCA, in years past, you know 2 things. You know the early morning huddle, which we still do, and we believe in, and then, which is usually before school, you know, at a campus, and then also FCA camps, and those happen during the summer. It's grown. We still do both of those things and believe in them strongly, but it's grown a lot. One of our focus shifts has been we try to minister a lot to the coach, because the coach is usually one of the biggest influencers in that child's life.
Sure.
So we're trying to minister to the coach. FCA calls it to and through the coach. All right. And then secondly, focusing on team huddles, trying to get people from the community that can be a volunteer. We call them character coaches, and they get involved in the team with the coach's permission. They come in, and they're kind of like a team chaplain.
Right.
They start off with a ministry of presence, just getting to know the guys and the girls, and then as time goes by, before or after practice, a voluntary time is set aside if the kids want to do this, if the coach is okay with it, and they do a devotional time, do some talking, and just deal with life issues for the kids. Yeah.
But we want folks to realize this is not something that's being forced.
Nope. Totally voluntary
on these children.
Yes.
This is a voluntary thing, and you know, there are a lot of these young people that choose to get involved in this.
That's right. And there are times, you know, where we say, hey, we have an FCA time after practice. You can stay if you want to, and some stay and some don't. A lot of them do stay. We do a lot of leadership training as well. That's something we're trying to improve in. And what that looks like is we will train the students to lead their huddles. That is the goal. Especially the early morning huddles. We want those student athletes leading the huddles. And it's been really neat to watch them grow. You know, when they first try it, they're scared, they're nervous. I mean, you imagine being a middle school student or a high school student, standing in front of your peers, talking about the Bible, talking about Jesus, not knowing exactly if you're saying the right things. But as we train them, it's been amazing to watch them grow in their leadership abilities.
So we'll get back again to this. We're going to be, this is the Elk River FCA. It's the fundraiser banquet. It's Monday, April the 9th. It's at Winchester Church of Christ. And the guest speaker is wide receiver from the Titans. What's his name?
Chris Sanders.
Chris Sanders. Oh, it's up in the picture right there. Okay. If you want to sponsor, you can be a gold sponsor for $1,000, a silver sponsor for $7, a bronze sponsor for $3. Single tickets are $20 a plate. Called White Cox.
Sir.
All right.
Thank you,
buddy.
Appreciate you.
Good luck. Pet of the Week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a Great Pyrenees named Titan, who entered the shelter as a stray. He's approximately 3 years old and good with other dogs and children. Titan has had his parvo, distemper, and vaccinations, and will receive a free neuter provided by the shelter. Be sure to check out the shelter on Facebook for information about upcoming fundraisers and other events. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pet this week is Sporty. He is a terrier mixed dog who would love to share fun and games with you. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made to the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252 in Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
On Monday, March 26th at 2 p.m., Officer Daniel Ray from the Manchester Police Department will give a situational awareness talk at the Coffee County Manchester Public Library. The school safety talk and discussion will be open to the public, both students and parents, and of course the event is free. You are advised to come early as the library parking is limited. For further information, contact Virginia and Kevin Emy at the library, and their phone number is 723-5143.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up after these messages.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Harris. I've been providing communication services throughout the United States since 1985. But instead of me telling you about the services I provide, I'll let some of my clients speak for me.
This is Philip Barnett of the Russell Barnett Automotive family. We have 5 new car dealerships. Jerry Harris has handled our telephones for many years. Just recently, he came to us with a new program with Host My Calls. They not only saved us money, but the service is out of sight. I highly recommend Jerry and the Host My Calls team for any of your telephone needs.
Host My Calls is by far the best service I have ever placed with any of my clients. It provides cost-saving solutions while providing great communications. Call me today, 931-581-4411. See how Host My Calls can save you.
Can you imagine a world without beauty, without color, without creativity, without art? Neither can we. Keep arts alive and experience all kinds of arts and crafts at the first annual Arts Alive Tullahoma on the lawn of the newly renovated grounds of the South Jackson Civic Center, May 26th and 27th. For details, visit TullahomaArtsCouncil.com and come spend the day at our fun, family-oriented art festival.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1938 at 82 degrees. The record low was in 1958 at 20 degrees. The average high on this day is 62 and the average low is 37. Partly cloudy weather expected tonight with a low of around 38. Partly cloudy weather continues in the forecast for Friday with a high of 55 and a low of 49. A chance of rain for this weekend starting on Saturday with a high of 66 and a low of 47. And that's our Newsleader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on Newsleader 6 wishes you and your families a beautiful weekend. Thank you.